lights and cameras and mirrors.
Hello, it's your boy, Auteur Deluxe. Tenet. Let's get into it. I finally saw it. I was never going to be one of the people that was reviewing this, from a ventilator, just saw it in theaters. Don't care that much. I don't like Christopher Nolan. I don't hate Christopher Nolan, but I don't love Christopher Nolan. Memento was big for me. Inception, don't get it. Get it enough. Get it on a rudimentary level, but that wasn't deep diving into Inception. Batman's fine. Batman's cool, I guess. I don't care. Didn't see Dunkirk. Still haven't seen Interstellar. Full disclosure. Was waiting for this one on VOD. Didn't want to pay the $75. I believe it was $75 to $90 to get this on VOD. Finally came out to rent. So Spectrum, NSA, my internet service provider, everybody watching, the IRS. I paid to see this movie. Don't come after me. But I paid my $6. I finally saw it. And before I say anything, this is your spoiler alert. Okay, the opening scene. I'm on board. This thing starts with, it's an incredible opening scene. Just a great action sequence. Cinematography's on point. Score is on point. The main guy, I should know his name, but I don't. The main actor, he's very intense. Things are happening at a breakneck speed. I'm on board. I'm a little confused by the end of it, but I'm on board. Even 2 minutes after this initial action scene, I'm realizing this is going to be a convoluted mess, the likes of which I've never seen. It was a convoluted mess to the point that I thought it was a satire. I thought Nolan was fucking with us, and I think he might be fucking with us. One of the characters very early on, when they're talking about the inverted and the time travel, whatever the fuck is going on, sci-fi stuff, one of the characters says, "Don't try to understand it." And I took that as a very big dog whistle that, okay, I'm tuning out. I'm not going to try to understand this stuff. Like, for me, espionage movies, spy movies, and action, like heist movies, they can be a little over my head. They can be hard for me to understand, full disclosure. But I can get there. I can find a way to enjoy them for the most part. Tenet is like, it's as impregnable as Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, which is a very convoluted spy movie. It's like that, minus the historical stuff, but then you shoehorn in all this fucking time travel, inverted sci-fi bullshit. And I'm sure Nolan fans are watching this right now saying, "Oh, you don't get it. You don't get it." This movie is begging you not to get it. And it's begging you not to care if you get it. I wasn't big on Inception, but I always felt if you get into the nuts and bolts of that movie and everything does add up for the most part. You can kind of go deep in that movie, and when you come out of it, it's going to make sense, or there's a logic there that you can follow. This one, before they even got to the inverted stuff, I was lost. I was lost and I didn't care. And the dialogue is fucking terrible. You are begging for an action scene, and they do deliver. There are great action scenes, but the dialogue is awful. It's on another level. It's truly like NPCs that flunked out of AP Physics. It's jargon, it's bullshit, it's convoluted. It's the least charismatic characters of all time talking, like literally walk and talk, and just drivel, absolute drivel. It doesn't add up. It's literally like a fucking video game cutscene. Every conversation in this movie, for the most part, is like a video game cutscene. I found myself trying to press A to skip it.
But can we change things if we do it differently?
What's happened's happened. Which is an expression of faith in the mechanics of the world. It's not an excuse to do nothing.
Fate?
Call it what you want.
What do you call it?
Reality.
I will give this movie some praise. Like I said, the action scenes are shot incredibly well for the most part, with the exception of like the climax of the film, which really didn't do anything for me. But like there's like a car action scene and the action scene at the beginning that are really innovative. They really are impressive. They are shot incredibly well. The score is really good. I think the score really complements the action on the screen. And Nolan really is masterful at that. He can kind of maneuver and orchestrate a really good action scene. But nothing else worked for me on any level. It's one thing to be a little obtuse and a little like hard to understand, but you can gloss over that with movie magic, and he doesn't do that. You take a movie like Primer, for example. Primer is a very lo-fi, almost mumblecore movie about a guy that turns a storage unit into a time machine. You buy it. You watch that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, I'll be completely honest, but when I saw it initially, I bought it. I'm sitting there thinking, how is this guy doing this? Oh my God, time machines are real. This seems like it seems they're glossing over it enough with enough movie magic and enough like seemingly logical dialogue that you buy it. You buy it as a viewer. You don't buy it as an engineering student, but you buy it as a viewer. The viewer is invested.
Philip and I were talking. We think it'd be good. It'd be fun.
Look, nobody's saying it wouldn't be fun. It's just the time for jacking around with Tesla coils and ball lightning in the garage is over. I mean, maybe this is something you try on your own in your free time, you know?
My free time? Which free
really
time?
don't have-
Free time after the 50 hours a week of work, after the 30
We're all
hours of
working
free
the same
time I already
schedule.
spend in that
We're all
garage.
working the
Where's
same
like me
schedule, I
squeezing
know.
in?
And also, side note, I think that movie was probably made for one day's lunch budget that on Tenet. Nolan's inverted bullshit is so convoluted and so impenetrable that you immediately don't care. And the fact that so early on a character says, don't try to understand it, that gives a lazy viewer or just an uninterested viewer, me, that gives you permission to just pull the ripcord and not give a shit about anything that happens from this point on. And I'm sure, I guarantee you that on Reddit, many Nolan fans have drafted incredible Excel spreadsheets on this movie to try to put all the pieces together. I don't care. It's like somebody saw Memento or saw Inception, blew him over how impressively, brilliant he was for making these movies, and then gave him a deadline tomorrow. You have a deadline tomorrow. So he just concocted this convoluted mess. It's like a fucking book report when you didn't read the book. There are one or two kind of like aha moments, but for the most part, it's fucking schlock. You have one or two like, oh, this guy is this guy. Oh, wow, it's kind of neat. But for the most part, it's like, okay, I don't know anybody's motivation. Nobody's charismatic. I don't know where they're going with this, and I don't care. From the opening scene to the final sequence, I don't know what anybody's doing. Like, obviously, I get the bullet points of the movie. They're going after this guy because he has the technology to do the backwards stuff, and that's could make the world end. But as far as like, okay, what are the motivations here? Why is the woman doing this? Who even is the Robert Pattinson character? Who do they even work for? Who does anybody work for? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? For each action sequence, I'm like, okay, what's the motivation here? And then when it starts redoing the same scene backwards, it comes together a little bit, but fucking barely. But yeah, that's my take. It's worth a look. The cinematography and the action sequences make it worth a look. But the dialogue's a fucking mess. The dialogue is a fucking mess. And it's so convoluted, but it's not, the performances aren't bad. It's not the actor's fault. It's just written so poorly. There you have it. It's my take on Tenet. Got me a little fired up. I wanted to like it. Within it, before I saw it, I wanted to like it. Within it, I wanted to like it. The first 5 minutes was like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy this movie. I can't wait to see it. Am I gonna have to buy a 4K TV just for this fucking movie? But then by the end, I was like, oh my God. The one thing is, for a 2.5 hour movie, it really didn't drag. It didn't drag that much, even though the dialogue was fucking nuts. It didn't really drag. So I don't know. I'm a little torn, but I mean, on Letterboxd, I gave it 1.5 stars. Action's incredible. Nothing else works. Thank you. Follow me on social media.